How's everybody doing tonight? Day 19. Day 19 of the ROKR 3D Pinball. I don't know. I just can't get these things done on schedule. Probably the slowest among the people who do daily model building live streams. How many people are there who do that? I actually haven't found anyone else who does it. But there's other people who do it, but not live. Oh, there, echo. Turn that off. Well, at least we know the audio's working. All right, so day 19, and we're probably averaging an hour per night, so we're well over the 12 hours that it said it was going to take. We've got a lot of stuff built here. Underneath here, there's like tons of circuit boards and stuff. It looks like a pool, like a pinball table on the top, right? And then if you flip it over, there's a lot going on this side, and that's far from over. There's like more to come. So let's get into it. I mean, what are we chit-chatting here? Let's bring up the instructions and see what's going on. It says page 34. Looks like 35 here. Did we finish maybe page 34? Yeah, I think we did finish page 34. Or did we only start it? Let's see. That looks done. That looks done. Yeah, page 35. I think we're up to page 35. Now, wow. Look at that. That's a lot of pieces. Both the top and the bottom. So the top has, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 17. The top has 17 pieces. I'm not going to count the bottom right now, but let's just call it like 30. So there's going to be like 45 pieces. We're going to be well over 600 pieces by the time we finish page 35. Well, we're not going to get anywhere until we get started, so let's start collecting the pieces for the top half. I'm not even going to read them at this point. Okay, fine, I'll read them quickly. C6, C7, C15, C16 times 2, C22, C26, C41, C44, F30 times 2, F31 times 2, F32 times 2. So those are all wooden pieces, which means we're probably going to be working on the face, on the tabletop. Why is this slanted? What's going on the bottom of this? Anyway, we're not working on the electronics for this moment. I guess it's slanted because this is the tallest thing right now, and it's on the left side. Anyway, there's a lot of inserts here, a lot of slots. You see them all over this board, and I guess they're about to start getting filled in because we're going to start collecting, what did I say it was? 15 or something like that? 17 maybe? I think it was something around there. 17. They're all from either the C or the F board, and those are both wooden boards. So look at this. Did this fall out or was this left over? I know one of those was left over, so I'm going to assume that there's no problem right now. All right, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 17. Yeah, it's 17 pieces. What's 574 plus 17? Is it 591? I hope so, because that's what I put in. All right, so we need the C sheet and the F sheet. All right, so where is the F board? I should say the F board. All right, that's K. By the way, on day 1, like piece 1, we were supposed to take this this K8 out. We're supposed to use that on the very first. This K8 was supposed to be used on the very first page, and for some reason we didn't use it. And this is a second copy of K7. So I'm going to pop out these two tools while I have it here. See, here's another copy, but it's like broken in some points, so let's grab a second one. And there's still some staples left here, K9, whatever that is. All right. But what we're looking for is the F board. I'm not looking for the C board because I know where that is. I know that's already on the C board is on the desk. It's somewhere in this pile. So let's do F first. As I recall, F is the board with 1,000,000 pieces in it. That's J. This is G. This looks like F. Alright. There's 1,000,000 pieces in the F board. And the F board is really big. Alright, so F30 times 2, F31 times 2, and F32 times 4. 30, 31, and 32. The numbers go very high on the F board. I see 35 and 36 here. I see two 31s. By the way, the 32s are little, like, meaningless pins. They're all right here. F30, F30, F31, F31, and then a bunch of F32s. We need 4 of them, so I'm just going to pop out that whole row there. And then we move on to the C board. All right, we need 4 of these little pins. All right. I don't think it's possible to pop out only 4. We're going to end up popping 6 of them out. There we go. Two, three, they're like sticking to my fingers. I have 5 here. I don't know where the 6th one went, but we only need 4. So I'll put one there. And that's the type of piece that we're going to lose track of because it's so tiny. We're just hoping that it's an extra. You know what? We could always clip a toothpick to that size if we had to. It's not a big deal if we lose one of those pieces. It's like not a deal at all. You even could probably put a little piece of glue in there. So you want to take a guess on what we're doing? I mean, it looks like these are sets, right? Like we're going to pin this piece to this piece using 2 of these. I mean, that's what it looks like, right? I'm just going to go ahead and guess that that's what it is. But now we need the C board. We're not ready to move on yet. All right, there's 2 C boards. So they could be on either one of these boards. I think this small one is the other C board. So C6, 7, they go 41 and 44. All right, these ones go from like 18 to 40. Actually, there's a G12. So this is a mixed board. I think we've mentioned that before. There's 40, but there's 39, but I don't see 41 or 44. And I see, I see 27 and 28, but not 26. I don't think we need this little tiny board. I don't think there's anything there that we need. So it's all going to come from this board. And it's going to be a lot of it. There's C5. C6 and C7 are these 2 R's. So we need these 2 R's. All right, 6 and 7. I already forgot which one's which. I'm going to put the... All right, I think the 7's the one with the hole in it. I'm just going to put them in order. 6, 7. Then we need 15 and then 16 times 2. There's 14. There's 17. We're at 15 and 16. Okay, here's 15 and here's two 16s. So 15 and two 16s. They kind of look like, I don't know, a cartoon mace, something like that. All right, 22, 26, 41, and 44. "22" is an interesting piece. Looks like a mailbox with a bunch of stars on it. All right, 26, 41, and 44. There's 41, but that's out of order. We still need C26. And oh, there's C26. All right. Last piece, C44. Where is it? Is it on the other sheet? No, there it is, C44. What does that say on it? Danger. It says danger. C44 says danger. It looks like kind of like an F also. But it definitely says danger. All right. A lot of these have splinters. So while I'm removing splinters, let's talk about this question. Which was the first Major League Baseball mascot to be thrown out of a game? Babe Ruth, the San Diego Chicken, or Youppi? I'm going to guess Youppi. Is Youppi a Major League mascot? It sounds like something from the Japanese league. Babe Ruth is a player. I suppose there could have been a mascot named Babe Ruth, but I don't know. It's got to be the San Diego Chicken, right? Because I remember him getting thrown out of a lot of games. But at the same time, what the hell is that Youppi? I feel like if they're putting that on the board, it could mean something. What's the answer? Youppi, a shaggy orange giant mascot for the Montreal Expos. Am I saying it right? Youppi, Youppi? I don't know. Got ejected for jumping on the roof of the Los Angeles Dodgers dugout during a game in 1989. Oddly enough, I believe I remember that. Not that I was watching the game. I might have seen it on TV. 89, I would have been like maybe a sophomore in high school, something like that. Anyway, let's continue on with these instructions. So F31, F30, 31, and 32. It's exactly as we predicted. So F30 is the backing, F31 goes on the front, and two pins hold it together. Exactly as we predicted. So let's just get that done. So put the two pins on. They're tiny pins. I might need the needle nose pliers to get them in. I will need the pliers. They might break though. I think we worked with a tiny piece like this before and broke it, so that might happen again. Yeah. I used to hate those puzzles with the toothpicks. Now I'm starting to see the logic of it. I just stabbed myself. Was that on camera? Let's see. I just hit the replay button. I don't think it did anything. I guess I didn't hit the replay button hard enough. Well, I don't see any blood, so I think I'm okay. I stabbed myself with the needle nose pliers, and that piece went flying. So that basically didn't work. So I'm going to try putting it in the other piece first, the 31. Putting it in the 30 first didn't work. It's a very tough piece to do anything with. All right, now I'm going to still stick with the fingers. Now I'm going to wiggle it or screw it. Not that that does anything. But I just got to try something. Okay, I got an idea. this thing. Push it through that. So, right. So put it on that, through that hole. Put it through the hole, right? And then line it up on the other side with where it needs to go. It doesn't fit through that hole. It's like no easier. I was thinking that the hole in this thing would be a little like loose. Okay, we got something going. We got it into that hole. It didn't go through, but we got it into it. But now from this side, if we put some backing on this side, and then we put this one on top, we probably can like get the piece in there. What I don't know is if it's going to make a stronger bond with the C30 or with the tool. I think it attached to the tool. So now we got to push it out. Let's see if the small Allen wrench will do the job. But if we got it at least started, then we can finish it by pushing it in. It stayed in the tool rather than staying in the piece. Okay. So we're just going to have to get it in that piece somehow. You don't know, those pliers didn't work. Fingers are not working. I don't know what to do here. Let's try again. I just flicked another piece. I'm like losing all the pieces here. Finally. I got it in. But we got two left. I think I flicked one and I don't know where it went. There it is. Wow. That piece is so tiny. There it is. Does it even look like I'm holding anything? It's like nothing. I'm just like squishing it. I'm putting a piece of wood behind it and using the tool to squish it in. At least that's what I'm trying to do. All right. We got the two 32s into 30 finally. So now we have to push the 31 on top of it. Okay. Does that look good? I'm not sure that it does. Well, it is what it is. Time to do the next one. I feel like we need another question to answer while I try to get these pins in, because they're annoying. All right. So this is word teasers firsts. The set. Wordteasers.com. Which was invented first, the lighter or the match? I mean, come on. Is this a trick question? Okay. They're both in the realm of chemical. One of them has a starter that creates a spark. The other one creates its own spark by friction. Okay. I'm thinking, I mean, if they're asking a question, then the answer has to be match. But that's assuming that lighter goes back earlier. Like, when was the first lighter? Like, the first match, I don't know when it was, but I think it was like at least a couple hundred years ago, at least like 200 years ago. I mean, did they not have matches like when America was founded? Like, how did they light things? I know that they transferred from candles a lot, but I think they had matches, right? I mean, they definitely had candles like forever. What's the definition of a match? Maybe there was some precursor to a match that worked pretty much the same? You know, I just don't know. The only thing I want to say is the answer is probably lighter, because it seems like the answer should be match. But I feel like I know that matches are fairly old, and I don't know that lighters are that old. I do have an old lighter, by the way. In fact, I think I could even bring it on screen. Yeah, let me grab that. It's not too far away. So this is like a very old lighter that I have. Now, how old is it? That I don't know. Kerosene lighter. So I think matches and lighters are probably both hundreds of years old. But I'm just wondering which one is first. You know, I think the lighter, in a way, is a simpler invention because it's a container, which we know existed. But you could say a match is a stick. But the lighter is a container of fuel and a striking mechanism. And the striking mechanism, is it all metal, or do some of them have like flint in there? I mean, I think the one that I have that I just showed you is just metal on metal to create the spark. So we know that humans have been working with metal for, I mean, I don't know exactly how long, but much longer time than they were doing, chemical, multi-layered chemical dry solutions onto sticks called matches. So match is definitely the simpler invention these days. I mean, there's like matches everywhere. They like, you get I found one of those missing pieces. You get like an MRE kit and there's a match in it. You get, I think there's matches in some, this like Swiss Army knife type of thing. Sometimes they come with a match or two. You can buy a box of matches with like hundreds of matches, and it's fairly cheap. But as common and cheap as matches are, that doesn't make them old. And you have to discover not only a couple of chemicals. I mean, what is one of them? Magnesium. What is the other one? Anyway, you have to discover not only a few type of chemicals, but a way to layer them and a way to get them onto the match and to keep them dry so that they don't go off unintentionally. But maybe that's not that difficult. You just dip them, like dip it in one, then dip it in another. Yeah, as important as matches and lighters are, I think they're both simple inventions. It's really a crapshoot, and I'm going to, as I've stated before, just go with, they wouldn't ask the question if the lighter was the answer. Like, they're only going to ask the question if the match is the answer. So let's take a look here and see what the answer is. The lighter, a German chemist invented the lighter in 1823. It created a steady flame, but was large, difficult to use, and dangerous. A British chemist invented the first friction match in 1827. So they were close together in time. I probably would have thought each one was 100 years older. Kind of surprised that that they're only from, well, 1823. I guess that's it. Like, how long ago was that? We're 2023 now, so that's like exactly 200 years ago. So the match is even like not even 200 years old. Wow, that's surprising. Okay, well, it is what it is. So the people who wrote... So America was founded by a country that didn't have like matches or lighters. It's remarkable they like got so many things right. No, it can't be right. I mean, this is bullshit. Come on. They had muskets. They had gunpowder. How are you telling me? This is bullshit. They had matches earlier than 1823. I'm not buying that. I don't know where they got that fact from. Or 1827 or 1823. I'm still going to go with the lighter being earlier, but those dates are not correct. They had matches. I mean, maybe they didn't have the first company that was like mass producing matches. Maybe they didn't have the first paper written in a scientific article. It's like nowadays, when something's in the news, like you've already known about it for 30 years, but they needed 30 years to like fight over the patent, murder the real inventor, obtain the rights, use it first privately in the military industrial complex. And then finally, when they're bringing it to market for the saps, then it's like, it's now been invented. I mean, come on. I think matches are older than 1827 and lighters are older than 1823, but whatever. I guess those are... What, maybe in Wikipedia, those are the answers? I don't know. All right, so, by the way, we might have messed up. Probably not. Okay, times 2? Yeah. Here's why I say we might have messed up. We built this twice, but it doesn't say to build it twice. Okay, but it says to build it over here. And it's obviously works the same way. Okay, so we didn't mess up yet. All right. And now in the middle, we have to build something else. C22 goes into C7. So C22 is this like rather fancy piece. And C7 is the R with a hole in it. We have another R, but it doesn't have a hole in it. So let's say you're holding this R so that you can like read it. No, actually, so that you can't read it, so that it's facing backwards like a ya in Russian language. Then you're going to slip this C22 piece. It has a little peg there, and you're going to slip that in the hole and above the top. So that's C22, that's C7, and that's what they look like smushed together. All right. So we made, so we've taken 4, 8, 10 of our 17 pieces, and we made 3 mini things. Well, what else are we going to do? Okay. And then we're going to apply these 3 minis. All right, where are we going to put them? All right. These 2 things are going to go here and here. So one of them's going behind plankton. Remember that chip yesterday that we described as plankton? Because it had like the eye in the front and the short arms on the side. He's going to fit right in this little groove here. So plankton's getting a little hat. Oh no. It's not. I don't want to break it. Okay, I think I got it on without breaking it. All right, plankton's got his hat. And now on the other side, we're going to do the same thing, but there's no plankton there, so it's going to be much easier. We're just going to like drop it in there. I say it's going to be easier, but it's not actually. Okay, it's in there. All right, so we got those two pieces on. So where does the R go? Okay. There's two slots here, like a circle and an oval. And that's where the R goes. And this like star piece, I don't know, that was called C22. I'm calling it a star piece because there's like 3 stars on it. Anyway, it's going to go in there, and the star piece is going to go towards plankton. So, I don't know, is that like a bridge or something? Is the ball going to go underneath there? Are you going to win a free game if it goes in there? Is something going to come out and lock the ball? I'm talking about the ball when you're actually playing pinball. Anyway, for now, we're just sticking the piece in and just making some, guesses at what its purpose might be. Is it in there? I can't really see. It's not. It's not in. The back is not in. All right. It's really tough to get a look in there for some reason. Can't get the angle. I feel all these cables wrapping around my fingers. Yeah, this cable's still loose. I wish we would plug it in. I wish they would let us plug it in. Anyway, there's the first 10 pieces. Moving on. Now, we're going to stick all these remaining 7 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're just sticking them all in there. Like 6 of them are going to go in this area. And then where does the R go? Did I mess up? Were we already supposed to have put the R in on the other side? Oh, yes, we were. We were supposed to put the other R in. Okay, so it's actually 11. So the first R is here in front of plankton. If you heard that sound, that was the box that's off camera. It just kind of slid a little bit. You can see the pieces are now like leaning against the floor. Not a big deal. I'll get them later. Anyway. Excuse me. So the 2 R's are going to go the same direction. They're both going to, like, you can see this one here. I don't know if you can see it. Kind of tough to see. Yeah, I don't have an angle to show you that. Anyway. Yeah. I need the handy cam. All right, I'm going to turn it this way so you can see it. There's a screw loose here. I got to tighten it. All right, before I go on, I have to tighten this screw. I don't know how I didn't tighten it yesterday. Or maybe I tightened it and it came loose on its own. I don't know. Anyway, it's tightened now. All right. So, yeah, you're never going to see that R. It's blocked by this piece. It's just impossible to show it to you. Anyway, this R is going to face the same direction as that R. You don't even need to know that because, like, circle, oval. Like, really, there was no other way to do it. I just wasted a minute of time. Sorry. All right. The R's are in. Now, all these other pieces, where do they go? The danger sign goes the furthest south. it goes here. I'm going to go ahead right now and guess that the other danger sign, I'm losing my nerve. I was going to guess here, but I think that slot is too big. So I don't know where it goes. All right, first danger sign goes right before this ramp. Is that even accurate? Yeah, that's right. Or is it? Maybe it goes here? No, that's where it goes. Just before the ramp with the arrows. It just seems like this hole is too big. Okay. There's another hole inside there that it has to catch. All right. Like a second layer to that one. It's actually pretty secure now. All right. These other all look like they're not that fancy. The danger sign had like 2 layers to it. So we had to make it fit there. All right. These 2 pieces. Is there like an up and a down? Kind of tough to tell. I think there's a fatter side, and I think the fatter side is what goes into the table. So it's a little bit fatter on this side, and I think that's going to go here and here into the table. Is the ball going to fit between these 2 pieces? You know, I'm getting a little skeptical because these 2 pieces that we just put on, no, you know what? I think they're going to hold up something because there's no way a ball is fitting in between them. I think they're going to hold something up there. All right, now C41 goes next to those 3 pieces. 2 pieces. 3 after I add this one. Yeah, this is definitely some type of ramp. I mean, look at the slant on it, which means I need to get these in like flush so everything's the same height. All right, we got 2 pieces left. C15 and C26. And they're going to go like kind of right behind these things. So C26 goes right behind this one. And then C15 goes behind that, but I don't see the dot. Is it back here? Is it this dot? Because on the picture, it looks like it's on that side. Yeah. It's like obscured by this rubber band. Something doesn't make sense there. All right, let's keep putting in the pieces and hopefully it makes sense at some point. All right, so C26, that makes perfect sense. Fits on top of that. Now, C19. I think it goes in that hole there, but that hole is in between 2 screws, which means I can't put a piece in there. So what do I do? Yeah, that's not going to happen. There's no way there's a piece going in there. Maybe it just goes in between the rubber band, even though that's not the way they show it on the... they don't show it that way on the instructions. The instructions make... Well, the arrow is in front of the rubber band, but I think the piece is going to go through the rubber band because there's no other way to make this happen. That's it. That's the answer. In between the rubber band. So there's going to be 1, 2. There's going to be like several more pieces that are going to do that same thing. Wow. 17 pieces. And the second half of page 35 has even more. How's it going, Key? Just chat. Anyone else in chat, please do say hi. And let me know where you're watching from. Do you have the puzzle or not? Or anything else. You literally can bring up anything and I'll talk about it. All right, let's move on. Oh my goodness. How many pieces is this? Seriously. I'm going to count them in twos. No, I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25. There are 25 pieces on the second half of page 35. C 11, 12, 19, 29. No, sorry. C 11, 12, 29, 38, 42, 43. F 21, 29, 39, 40, 42, 47, 48, 49, 50, 58 times 2, 59, 60. J 2, 3, and 4. P 11, P 50 times 2. Time to start collecting those pieces. Anyway, 25, did we say that was? I'm not going to count it again. It's now 25, whether it was before or not, which is going to bring us up to 616 pieces. I'm not going to answer them one at a time. I'm going to type in 616. All right. 616 pieces. Crazy, right? All right, let's start collecting them. This is going to take a minute. So, we're going to look at the next question. Launched in June 2007, the iPhone was Apple's first cellular phone, true or false? I mean, like the previous question with the lighter and the match, you just assume the answer is false if they're asking, because what else would there be to ask? Plus, it's part of a line. I know there's an iMac, but for some reason I think iPod was the first device, and I don't know if iPad came before or after iPhone. I think the iPhone came before the iPad, but the iPod came before either of them. Why is this stained? Was this stained when we picked it up before? Is that part of the wood? Anyway, I personally think that I just dropped C13 by accident. I don't think it was their first phone. Do you remember the, not even the BlackBerry, but do you remember the Palm Pilot? There was like a time when people were buying Palm Pilots. Not that Palm Pilots were any good, but they were something. There was something in the category that became smartphones. And I think it sparked a lot of people's imagination. There was something called the HP Jornada that was like the iPhone, but for some reason it wasn't a phone. And that's kind of like what the Palm Pilot was. Like, you could get it without, like, people understood what the Palm Pilot was going for, and they would get it like with the SIM card. But there were some people, for some reason, there was this idea at the time that in order to market this, you got to have an entry level. You know, it's like when you go to buy a car and it's like the car is $19,000, and then you go there and it's like, we got to add this, we got to add that, and you're like, keys? You got to pay for the keys? And the guy's like, how are you going to start it? So it's like, you know, you think that it costs like $500 and really it costs $1,000. So that's what Palm Pilot, HP Jornada, and these kind of people were doing. And then BlackBerry was the first company that they were like, no, this is absolutely 100%. It's online. It's a phone. It connects to your company's computer system, email system, and that's what it's for. And then that became popular because not that you couldn't buy SIM cards for the previous, but people didn't know. And plus, it connected to your work email, so that made it pretty big. All right, that's all we need from the C sheet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so that's the C sheet. I think I'm even going to set that up here. So we had the Palm Pilots and the Jornadas, which were mini computers. There were a lot of other mini computers. I mean, you could get like a TI-80 back in the day, and, you know, you could like program Linux on that or whatever. Anyway, started showing up in business was the Palm Pilot, even though it was garbage. And then the BlackBerry connected to the work, which was beautiful. And it had a hard buttons at the bottom, so you could like type the BlackBerry. So the buttons at the bottom were great because they were buttons, but they were bad because the screen was half the size that it could be. So the iPhone originally had one button at the bottom, but eventually someone realized, like, well, why do you even need any buttons? So now it doesn't have any buttons. I'm looking for the F board right now. Okay, the F board, the board with a million pieces on it. All right, here's the F board. All right. So, but what the BlackBerry did was it connected to your work computer. And it had some messaging that supposedly was pretty secure. I never used it, but apparently it was pretty secure. An iPhone did connect to the email, but they never did a great job. And even to this day, iPhone doesn't do a great job of coordinating with the corporations. iPhone will just be like, we're going to update our operating system, you know, screw you. And it's like, we're doing this. They don't coordinate with the companies at all, but the companies keep putting their email and making it accessible through iPhone, which I just assume means that nobody in the country has secure email at this point. Because that's not, I mean, iPhone is a consumer gadget. I mean, as much as, you know, third party, aftermarket, special, whatever, you know, maybe I'm underselling it and you got to talk to an expert. But my understanding is that it's a consumer phone. And in terms of rollouts of operating systems, security patches, and all this stuff, the companies are sort of struggling to keep up with whatever Apple decides to do. Now from there, you have to decide. Now it becomes a conspiracy. From there, you have to decide if Apple knows what they're doing or if not. If every company that signs up to use an iPhone knows what they're doing or not. I mean, there's much better ways to secure your company's email. If your goal is to secure your company's email, which we don't know if that's the goal or if that's specifically not the goal. You know, we don't know. And now I'm going to get super controversial here. There's a guy who died like a week after 9/11. I mean, I assume that he died. It's entirely possible that he's, you know, working at some command center in the continuity of government mountain replica Congress facility. I mean, I have no idea. But presumably he died on 9/11. I think his name was like, I'm not really sure. Like, his name I think was Bill Cooper. But for some reason, I've got the name Milton somewhere stuck in my brain. So I don't know if there was something Milton about his name. Maybe it was like Milton Bill Cooper or Bill Milton Cooper or something like that. Anyway, the guy's name was Bill Cooper. And he died shortly after 9/11. But on 9/11, he had a radio show. And I don't know how long his radio show normally was. I think he kind of competed with Art Bell on the overnight, sort of alien and UFO circuit. But Bill Cooper was a little different. He wasn't trying to sell UFOs. In fact, he was specifically telling people that anyone who sells you UFOs is selling you baloney. They're not real. They're like just meant to scare you, to confuse you, to make things that aren't real seem real. Basically they're just a line of BS, but in his speech. And so anyway, he used to do like a show, and he would talk about, as I said, he would talk about radio show, whatever's going on in the world, kind of conspiratorial, kind of like underground information. There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on, like Mount Weather and all that stuff. I mean, it exists, but people don't talk about it. It's part of national security, that kind of thing. Where do those trains go at the Denver airport? So anyway, Bill Cooper, or whatever his name was, when 9/11 happened, instead of doing his normal radio show, he stayed on the air. I think he used shortwave radio or internet radio. It was some method where there was no one who could take him off. And he basically stayed on the air as long as he could. I don't know if it was like 8 hours or 12 hours, but he wouldn't give up the microphone on 9/11. And he had worked in naval intelligence. I don't know how much credibility that gives him. He wasn't working there at the time, but he had previously worked there. And in his assessment, at the moment those towers came down, or maybe even at the moment that the planes hit, the country was under martial law, whether anyone told you or not. That was his opinion. That's what he believed. And then he was gone. A week later, as I said. Officially, he was killed. Let's assume he was. But, if this guy used to be in military intelligence and he's telling you it's martial law and then he disappears a week later, another option is that he's still at work. So if martial law does exist, then everything we've been seeing over the last 22 years is basically a play. Now, of course, there's some people who say that everything that happens in politics is a play. Like, they've been saying that since like Shakespeare's time, like all the world's a stage. So there's nothing really new in someone saying that. But what would be new is the depth of it, which is that everything you're seeing. So some people will go like, oh, Obama was, different theories. So he was CIA, he was born in Kenya, he's just an actor. Trump is officially an actor, we know that. But some people will say that it's all an act. So like, what have there been 3 presidents since 9/11? So Bush was president then. And then since then we had Obama, Trump, and Biden. So Biden has a record. But does the Biden you see now look like the Biden that existed on 9/11? I'm just asking you. What do you think? Do you think so? I don't know. Anyway, so the reason I'm saying all this is not to try to convince you. It's just to try to say that if the email is not secure, it's because it's not supposed to be secure. I don't know if it's true or not, but if you felt that you had permission for security reasons to read everyone's emails, how would you guarantee that you would always be able to get them? Why did iPhone beat BlackBerry? It was a better system, but was it a more secure system? It was a better system for a consumer, and that was who was that guy who was famous for like eating apples? Oh, the Apple computers, but he was famous for eating fruit. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs said something like, how many devices is a person like willing to carry in their pocket? Because we have to limit ourselves to the number of devices that the person's willing to carry in the pocket. And that number is 1. So that's a very simple way to look at it, is that people don't want to carry 2 phones. So they're going to have they want their work phone and their personal phone to be the same. And that's a good answer. That's actually why I only have 1 phone. But here's the problem. When you have a phone that's through your company, you sign papers saying that everything on the phone is owned by the company. So not only can they like delete your pictures, they can look at them. And they can do everything. So like on my particular phone, it's a company phone, but it's like $25 because it's through the company deal. So to me, that's a great deal. Like if they want to look at my family photos, I mean, go ahead. It's not really gonna. I mean, I don't think they're gonna be very entertained by it, but for $25 a month, I'll do it. But I know a lot of other coworkers, they have 2 phones, and they have a company phone and a personal phone, and it's for exactly this reason, that they don't want their personal phone to be owned by their company because they want it to be private. Now, this is ridiculous to think that in 2023 that anything on your phone is private, but here's why I bring that up. They do have 2 phones. So if you're going to have 2 phones, one for business communications and one for personal, and you're carrying 2 phones anyway, then you could use the BlackBerry for personal, for business, and the iPhone for personal. But that's not what goes on. And I tell you, I'm a rarity that I'm like using the same phone for personal and work, because we have like lists. We actually have lists, at least for the people most relevant, the people in the same department as me. And I'm literally the only one that only has 1 phone. People probably think I'm lying and I have a second phone. I'm not. I only have 1 phone. I don't have any secrets. Maybe I had secret like when I was younger, like maybe 20 or something like that. But I think when the iPhone came out, I probably was already in my 30s. And when did they say the iPhone came out? 2007. Oh shit. Yeah, I was 34 years old at that time. Yeah, so I definitely didn't have any secrets at that time. But I could see some 20-year-olds wanting to keep his phone secret. All right, so I think they said P11 was 25 millimeters. Yeah, 25 millimeters. And we only need 1 of them. So I got 3 different sizes here. They all came from bag 1. Let's see which one of them is 25 millimeters, because that's the one we need. I think it's the biggest one. Yeah. The others are way smaller. So this big one is the 25 millimeter one. And then we still need 2 P50s. And then we got to look up the answer to that question. Wow, it took me a lot of time to find the 25 pieces, and we still got 2 more to go, 2 P50s in bag, what is it? Bag 24? All right. And then we'll look up the answer, and then we'll finally get started. And I guess we're only going to do one page today because, I mean, I'm just spending all my time collecting pieces. I feel like whoever calculated that this puzzle was 482 pieces, they only were counting wood pieces. And whoever calculated it takes, it's, by the way, it's plastic nuts. That's what's in 24. And whoever calculated it only takes 12 hours, they weren't counting the amount of time it takes to collect the pieces. Look at all these pieces I had to collect. I mean, we were talking about 9/11, iPhones, Bill Cooper, continuity of government, Mount Weather, BlackBerry, Palm Pilot, HP Jornada. I mean, we were going nuts here. And this whole time I was collecting these 25 pieces. So that was a lot of time. All right, let's see what the answer is, and then let's continue building. False. Oh, sorry. The card's not in front of the screen. All right, false. So we got it right. In 2005, Apple teamed up with Motorola to create the first cell phone sanctioned to play iTunes. Right, because the first device was the iPod, called ROKR E1. How about that? If you remember, I'm going to show you something in a minute. It's going to blow your mind. So anyway, it was called ROKR E1. It was a dud. Steve Jobs took control of design and produced the iPhone. Okay, so we were pretty accurate on their history there. But I want to point particular attention to this. Apple's first phone was called ROKR E1. Keep that in mind for a second. The puzzle that we're working on right now, this pinball, it's from ROKR, and the model number is EG01. We're working right now on ROKR EG01, and Apple's first phone was ROKR E1. Why was it called ROKR? I have no freaking clue. But I'm wondering now if it was the same company. Is Motorola, what company, where's Motorola from? ROKR, I'm pretty sure is from China, but who knows what that even means these days. I heard a lot of stuff that's just made in China is actually made in Taiwan. So even though there's all this fighting between, like, is it China or Taiwan? Like, Taiwan is literally producing goods and stamping them made in China. So I don't know what's going on there. And anything I say about history or conspiracies or presidents or military or whatever, it's always just my opinion. It's not something to be quoted as a fact. Anyway, let's start building this thing. So we need to look at the instructions. The bending part of F29 is easy to break down. Please assemble carefully. So this is probably F29. It doesn't say it on it, but it's got a bendy part. So there's F21. There's F39. So this must be F29. So what do they want us to do with F29? All right, that is very bendy. Wow, that's crazy. F29 it is. All right, so just to match it up with the instructions, you can see the arrow here, and you can see that faintly staple shape. What we don't see here is the circle. I don't know why we don't see that circle. If you look in the instructions, there's clearly a circle there. I don't know what that's about. There's no circle here. But I believe that this is the location where F29 goes, because you can see in the background those three bumpers, and those only exist. Okay, this is the wrong place. This is the right place. There's the screw. Wow. I can't believe I almost put it in the wrong place. Yeah, this is where it goes. That's why you always double check your work. All right, this needs to be sanded a little bit. All right, wow. So I'm gonna tell you about the history of phones and 9/11 and military industrial complex, and I can't even find the right location to put F-29. That was embarrassing. All right, anyway, we got the right location now. It says it can break if you're not careful, so I guess try to be careful. Wow. Looks like it can break even if you aren't careful. And you can't even support the underside because it's full of wires. See how there's like electronics there and electronics here? Trust me, I got my hand on the other side and it's full of wires. Yeah, it's full of wires. All right. I think we got it in there. What's next, boss? All right, C42 and C43. C42 and C43. Here they are. 42, 43. Is there any difference between these two pieces? Yeah, they're completely different. Not only are they structurally different, they're like mirror images in gesture. Anyway, the 42 goes on the left and the 43 goes on the right. So let's put them in there. Again, we got a support from the underside. There's a lot of that going on. I kind of wish I'd put these in before F-29. No, because then you'd have to squeeze F-29 underneath. Basically, whichever one you put in second is going to be difficult because you can't see what you're doing. Because the piece that's already in there is blocking the vision. So I sort of got them in, but I don't know. I don't know how tightly they're in there. Wow. Why the hell did Apple name their phone ROKR? Now I have to look into that. It's got to be a good reason for that. All right, C12. What does that look like? It's like overpass on the highway. So there's going to be some kind of road on the top of this piece, I guess. All right, these two pieces right here, that's where it goes. The piece is asymmetric. One side is longer than the other. The longer side points towards that. The shorter side points towards the flippers. The longer side goes the other way. So another way to think of that is the ink side is towards the middle of the table. And it goes in these two holes right underneath those three springy bumpers. All right, there we go. So there's definitely some structure going to be built there. You can see all the support is there. And we still have a lot of pieces here. What's going on? What is this piece? It looks like it's going to lock several other pieces together. 42? We didn't use 42 yet? I thought this was 42. Oh, this is like F42 and the other one was C42. Okay. Wow. All right. That was C12, this piece. How does it look from this angle? There it is. This thing's in the way. It's taking away the coolness of it. All right, there you can see it. You see how it like lifts up? There's something that looks like that. In Albany, they have something. It's like a giant, like football. I don't know. It's a building in Albany. I think it's near the museum. Anyway, it kind of looks like that. The base isn't as tall. but the like half football supported shape kind of looks like that. All right. Right here goes C38. I mean, I'm sort of like, there's so many pieces to put in, like, I don't know which one to pick next. This one just caught my eye, C38. So C38 has a little arrow on it. So the arrow is going to point away from the bumpers. So another way to look at the ink side goes outside the table. The arrow points away from the bumpers. All right. Now, how deep do we put that in? All the way? I don't know if it'll go all the way. So many pieces. I want to peek at the next page and see if that's all the way in. Nothing can stop me. Yeah, it's all the way in. All right. Okay. That's where we did that. So it needs to go in further. I don't know why it's not all the way in, but it's not. Let's look underneath, see what's going on there. Yeah, that's got to go all the way through, and it's currently not. You think if we force it, it'll go in? Kind of jiggle it a little bit. I want it. It'll make this piece more secure, but I can't get it in there. Why? What the heck? I'm tempted to like chip a corner out of that. I can see all the way through. We got to be able to get this in. Come on. All right. I took a look. Could see all the way through. That means this piece can go all the way through. It's in. Wow. That should not have been that difficult, but it was. All right. F21 goes here, right at the end of that bumper. No. Here. At the end of the bumper, at the end of this ramp, whatever you want to call it, goes C11. All right. This is C11. There's a strange shape to C11. And it's again got an arrow on it. Let's see if we can figure out where that arrow goes. The arrow again goes towards the back, and it goes at the top. So arrow at the top, towards the back. It's going to go right here. So basically right at the end of this piece. Okay. Now, F21, where's that go? That goes, I can't even see it. Okay, there it is. That little slit there. F21, again, has an arrow. The pattern with these arrows, they go high and they point towards the back. I don't know if that'll always be the case, but that's the case right now with the ones we're putting in. All right. Boom. We still got a lot here to do. I think those plastic nuts are going to go on this steel rod, but let's see. All right. What have we done? What haven't we done? C12 is done. F29 is done. C42, C43, C38, F21, and C11. Those are all in place. So we're moving on. We're moving on. There's a little bit of construction here. F60, which is this little bugger, is going to go on top of F59, which is this piece with the star. So we're just like combining these pieces. We're just making a little something there. Probably once it's combined, then that F60 piece will be a tab that goes into the somewhere. All right, it's a pretty secure connection. All right, we got more things to build. This next thing we got to build, it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces plus 5 pieces plus this thing we just constructed. So there's going to be a P. Let's build this out. There's going to be a P50 at each end, right? There's going to be P11. Then it's going to be P58. Then the thing we just built. Second P58. And second P50. So that's it. That's what we got to build. And then how tight do we do it? Press to be flush with the steel shaft. All right, that sounds about right. I think it's just going to kind of fit together. But anyway, I get the steel shaft onto the, get the plastic nut onto the steel shaft. Then put on 158 ink side out. There's a little ink on that. It's not a lot of ink on that, but there is some ink on it. So ink side out. Then we put this little ornate little piece. Again, ink side out. I don't know how you define out here, but I've got it the way they've got it. And then we put this piece on. These are not going to be flush. It says press to be flush with steel shaft. I think we're supposed to take a smaller steel shaft. Because either that or it's going to be loose. What do you think? Maybe they're not flush yet. Let me take a close look. That one, this side is flush. Both sides are flush. It seems like it's a little loose to me. Press to be flush with steel shaft. All right. I mean, we measured this piece at the beginning, and the other piece was a lot smaller. So I think that's correct. Maybe when that gets placed into the board, maybe it's going to make more sense. Let's see if we can find out where that gets placed in. So, okay, yeah, that does make sense. All right, so it's going to get placed into the board. I don't see the pin. Oh, okay, it's like hidden under there. There's the pins. Okay. So there's a ramp here. There's a ramp here. There's an arrow here. There's pins here. There's slots there and there. So when we put this in, the ball is going to flip that up. So like when the ball hits that, it's going to like spin it. And it's going to flip up and flip around. Okay, so the ball is going to go through there. That's going to break at some point because this is only held on by tension. So that's not going to last forever. But I guess it lasts as long as it lasts. Okay. All right. That's in there. That's pretty cool. Let's see if I can get that on a little better. I feel like if I play with it, it's going to become loose and worse. But at the same time, if I don't have it on straight, it's not going to work at all. I don't know. I think it could be better, but again, if I play with it, it's going to get loose, and that's going to be worse. So I'm not going to play with it anymore until such time as it does cause a problem. Hopefully it doesn't. All right, let's keep building here. J2, 3, and 4. That's F42. But it looks like the piece that they... All right, this is J2. All right, J2, J3, J4. J2, 3, 4. Now, how do these go together? All right. J2, arrow up. J3, point on the same side as the arrow. Let's get that through there. And then J3, how does that go? Does that look right? Kind of looks like, I don't know. It either looks like a Star Destroyer at a weird angle, or it looks like either a Star Destroyer at a weird angle or one of those lamps that you rub and a genie comes out of. I'm not sure what this looks like. All right, let's get that in there. Okay. What next? I have to put it somewhere. Where do we put it? Unclear. I'll tell you, it's very unclear. Oh, it's going to connect. It's going to connect to multiple places. All right. So it's going to wrap around this backboard piece. Is it going to happen right here? The arrow on the instructions is not clear. There's like 3 tabs that might be pointing at 3 slots. There's a slot here, there's a slot here, and there's a slot here. But the back of it goes here. So if we put that on first, then it should be obvious where the other one goes. Okay, it is. So that's now obvious. All right, now I'm going to take it back off so I can make sure it lines up with where the bottom needs to go. Can't get it to angle in correctly. All right, I think I got it. Come on, get in there. All right, good. Now things are stronger than they were a minute ago. This is not an easy puzzle. I mean, at 12 hours minimum. I mean, hats off to you if you did this in less than 12 hours. I think it's tougher than that. All right. What do we got here? Are these all the pieces we have left? Assemble the parts symmetrically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's all the pieces we have. So F48. What's the difference between F48 and F49? I think one of them is longer than the other, maybe. All right. Okay. I can't tell the difference between these two pieces. And I forgot which one's which. They're the same. They're the same. All right, so F48 at one end, F49 at the other end, and then our 47 and 50 also the same piece, because if not, I don't know which one's which. Yeah, they're also the same piece. I don't know why they got different numbers. Okay. F47, F50, and then 39 and 40 the same? I know, they say which one's 39 and which one's 40, so 40 goes here, 39 goes here, 29 goes here, and then this F42 goes in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we got 8 pieces there, and we need to build whatever the heck we're building here. All right, let's just take it slow, and we'll get it. Assemble the parts symmetrically. That really doesn't mean much to me. I mean, yeah, I'll keep an eye that it's symmetric, but... All right, so... I guess it's supposed to look symmetric when it's done. All right. 42 has an arrow on it. 42 has an arrow on it. F42, and the arrow is going forward. So I almost messed up there. All right, let's get the arrow going forward. I think the reason for that is that the right side has an extra piece. It has this C29, and probably somehow this only works if you do it in one direction. All right. So F47, and then P48 with the tab at the bottom. Okay. And now we could start building the other side. And we'll worry about if everything's flush at the end. So C29, wow, that's going to attach to a gear. Doesn't it look like it? It's got some teeth on it. All right, C29. I don't remember seeing any gears, but I guess there are some. All right, now F50. We just have to be symmetric with the other side. So this should be easier. Easier going once the first side's done. Just kind of making it the same as the other side. All right. And then this goes on the end. All right. Do we have it all on? What? Come on, dude. Get on there. Right. Got a problem here. This last piece doesn't want to go on. Some neighbors playing music through their car, very loud. But it's like some slow song with like some bass being plucked. I don't know why I can't make out what the song is, but anyway, it's right outside my window. But my microphone faces me, not the window. There's like you only can speak through one direction, and the back of it is to the window, so you probably don't hear what's going on out there. Or if you do, it just sounds like music. Okay, so this piece goes They don't really give you a good reference because it's covered by a lot of other junk, but I'm pretty sure that it goes here. Because you can look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 tabs. There's 6 tabs on the bottom of this thing that I'm holding. You can see the tabs, and there's 6 slots there. So I guess that's where it goes, right? Get that in. It's not going to be easy to get 6 tabs in. Might have to take it apart and put it back together, but or maybe it'll go on the first try. You never know. Sometimes that happens. Wish it would happen more often, but it does happen sometimes, and it did happen in this case. So let's thank our lucky stars. That piece is now installed, and in fact it looks pretty sturdy. And that looks like, is that going to be some ramp there? Yeah, that's definitely going to be a ramp. It's like you hit this bumper down here and it's going to send the ball up that ramp. I don't know what's going to happen next. And this bumper you can send to this ramp. Of course you can get that one if you're good at it. You time it just right. But usually this one here and this one here. But you could do, I think you can hit this one with here. I don't know if you could hit, I don't think you can hit this one from here. You probably have to tilt the table. I don't see that happening. But I think you can hit this one with either flipper. This might be more of an, no, the arrows go up. So this is probably an off ramp. They all have arrows. They all have arrows going up, but they also could be off ramps if the ball is coming from the other direction. Anyway, that's the end of page 35, finally. So we're going to do page 36 tomorrow. I'm John Rapp. This is Just Rest Your Eyes. Good night, and see you tomorrow.